Bedard in center. Here he comes over the Edmonton line, drops it, balance across to Feist. Right side shoot, stop, rebound, scores! 60 goals in 49 games! Connor Bedard, he's got it! Back over to the right side, one-timers, Fosel snapped his stick, rebound in front, Howe scores! Brown finds Vallis, he'll find Maremba at center. Driving over the Lethbridge line, left corner centered in front, they score! And it's Ty Spencer. There's a pass up the gut, redirected deep by Zach Stringer for the red line. Good interception by Whitehead in front, he scores! He took it away from the goaltender Brian Thompson on a miscue.
Welcome to Pat's Cast, the unofficial Regina Pats podcast. It's episode 135 on March 12th, 2023. Wow, that was quite the week. After the high of highs, I guess, 2 weeks ago, and then a pretty low point. I think this is probably the lowest point of the season, you know, especially coming off that high, isn't it, Kevin?
Yeah, the Saturday game really, it felt like it was the end. It was weird. I don't know how really else to describe it, but we'll go back to the Edmonton game first.
Just kind of overall thoughts is just, okay, you come Edmonton, you don't play great against Edmonton. Lethbridge is a little better, but then, the Madison Hat was just like, what happened there? So, so Edmonton, I think they seem to just come out and just wanted a little more. They just played a little harder. The Pats just didn't look, I don't know, interested or say, like, I don't want to say that per se, like, I don't know what they're thinking, but it just didn't look good. There was no push.
It was a definite trap game.
And we mentioned that, and they got trapped. Like,
yeah, I don't know if they were expecting Edmonton to just kind of roll over and die, but Edmonton played. They played well enough to beat the Pats.
Yeah. And then, not to jump ahead, but Edmonton on, I guess it would have been Friday, they took Winnipeg to overtime. So it wasn't. Did Winnipeg not see what happened to the Pats and then thought, oh, well, we've got this one, right? So I don't know what happened there. Obviously, neither of us watched that game, but I mean, the fact that Edmonton took Winnipeg to overtime,
and then they got destroyed by Brandon the next night. So
they got destroyed by Brandon.
it goes in waves. Like it seems like not just the Pats were struggling this weekend. Other teams kind of
the Pats
smacked around a little bit too.
Didn't per se lose much ground on the teams right, I guess, behind them. Overall this weekend, like we'll talk about the standings after talk about these games, but it's not like it's like they didn't have much jump until they scored that second goal. Bedard got that goal mid third period, 8:01. So but I mean, before that fact, I said they have maybe one scoring chance in this first, what was it, like 7.5 minutes of the third period. It didn't even look like they wanted it at that point. Then they score the goal. Then they had some jump. But I mean, you can't play 12 minutes of the game and expect to win, no matter who the team is.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and then, it was just kind of ugly. The officiating was very inconsistent. It was all over the place. Calls, no calls. It was bad, right?
Yeah, don't really want to be one of the ones that have like the Pats color glasses on. Well, we kind of do, but it was not a well officiated game.
And it's not the refs' fault the Pats lost. It's it was just inconsistent. It was just that was a penalty, but then that wasn't a penalty. It was just kind of back and forth, like. Yeah, I don't know. And then, losing Svozil for 10 minutes, basically at the end of the second period
whatever he did.
Yeah, usually they have misconduct, and they'll maybe say, if it was a mouth guard, because I know he's got his mouth guard out all the time. I don't know how he hasn't got a penalty. But usually it'll say equipment or whatever. They kind of give an explanation. But so I asked John after the game, and he said that Bateman was told that Svozil swore at a ref. So it is what it is. That's what they got told. That was their reasoning. So, and John, you'll hear it. And John was like, if that's the first
case,
time,
that official's got some pretty thin skin.
Yeah, if that's the first time you heard a swear word on on the hockey rink, then yeah, it's yeah. So I mean, it was just inconsistent, right? We'll go with that. And then I mean,
And then the hand on the puck in the crease at the end of the
yes,
game, the schmozzle at that. It's just
yeah.
whatever. It's done. It's over with. They
That was
lost.
kind of a tough break. I mean, like I don't know how you're looking at the puck. The ref was right on the net, I think, looking down or whatever, and it didn't get called. So, I mean, it is what it is.
And they do that. They do the chat. They talk about it, and everybody thought, oh, they're going to get a penalty shot, and they put 0.8 seconds left on the clock. It's like, come on,
right? Like why? And then Edmonton had to come back on the bench. They were long gone. They were halfway to the bus. Like
the only player that stayed was their goalie,
because I think he knew that what happened maybe happened.
Yeah.
Where Kadu put his hand on the puck, and so he was like, "Yeah, I don't think it's over," right? And he was on the ice. He didn't even get off the ice.
No, he stayed. He was the only one that stayed out there.
Everybody else is in the dressing room. One guy you said was putting his jersey back on as he walked.
Yeah.
Walked back out to the bench. So I mean, yeah, that's a tough one. And I think it was Daryl Davis after the game. He asked John about that situation, and it's not reviewable, unfortunately. And he said, well, maybe the ref couldn't see it because Connor was getting his face punched in. And John says, oh, you saw that too? Yeah, I think we all saw that. So again,
yeah,
it was a tough night for Stripes. But it's not the reason why the Pats lost. They did not show up, I think, to play, or didn't.
Not all of them, anyways.
Yeah, right. And not to even to play, and maybe Edmonton surprised them at the level that they brought. So. Yeah, so that's a tough one. You think you should get a point or two out of Edmonton, but it was.
I think most people were expecting the 2.
Yeah,
and I think that might have been what did them in. I don't know. I don't know what else to say about that game other than
like even
it's 2 points they should have.
They should have picked up.
Should have got
Yeah. Like even just glancing at my notes here, like power play in the first period, not good power plays. Like it just right from the get go, it just wasn't good. But
no,
it is what it is. You got to move.
Congrats to Connor Bedard on scoring his 60th goal.
Yeah,
finally got it. Oh, congratulations to him.
Yeah, I asked him about that, and he downplayed, but obviously, that's usually what he does, and especially with the loss, he's like, yeah, it's tough coming in a loss, right? So you'll hear his comments. We'll put those in when we're done about this game. But yeah, I mean, anything else? I mean, it was a ugly game. Not much to say about it, right?
Yeah, I think that's enough.
All right. Well, we'll hear from John and Connor now here.
John, are those penalties reviewable? Video reviewable?
What should have been a penalty shot, you mean?
That's what we thought, yeah. That's what we're asking about.
No, it's not. I think as a league, they're, I'd say, making improvements, but trying to keep up with the times, with their video and stuff, and it's tough in different buildings, and you don't always have maybe a supervisor there, so it's, it's not like they go right from a game in Las Vegas to the boardroom in Toronto to review. Things aren't so. No, I'm. That's just the way it is. But the referee was right there. He was leaning over the net, like beats me.
Blocked, but Connor was getting his face punched in.
Yeah.
He was kind of being blocked.
You saw that too, the face punched in. Yeah. Lots of things could have been called in that little few seconds.
So what was the ref's explanation? What did they try to tell you there at the end?
I don't know. They just told Luke Bateman they didn't see it. So.
Overall thoughts on the performance tonight?
Oh, poor, embarrassing. Not good enough. A little bit of, significant push in the third probably, but it doesn't. We're not the first team to fall into some sort of trap in hockey. See it in the NHL probably once every 10 days or something. So we warned them about it, and then we just didn't play good enough.
Connor got the goal. What do you think of the overall game?
Just trying to be a little bit too individual, probably. And he wasn't the only one. Stan was, like, we we didn't move the puck enough, played one-on-one hockey too much. And I'll give them credit, like they stayed, this is the goal. I mean, they stayed like this pretty tight and they kept things jammed up, and, we didn't have enough traffic at the net, and until the third period we didn't spend enough time in the O-zone, like cycling or, getting somebody out of position and then getting the puck to the net. But they deserve some credit for that.
Connor, what did they do there as physical as anybody against you? They calling you down, they're punching you. Is that more physical than any team has been against you this year?
No. It's how people are going to play, and they obviously had a game plan, and it worked.
Talk about the end there. Obviously, you don't want to speak about the rest or anything like that, but just how frustrating was it, the process, and then just not getting the shot?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty confusing to me. I mean, the rule is obviously if you put your hand on the puck in the crease, it's a penalty shot, and that's exactly what happened. But the game goes fast, and obviously they missed it, but we're not going to make excuses and blame them. And it's a tough job, but seeing it on video, he definitely put his hand on the puck, but they didn't call it, so that's what happened. It's just frustration. I mean, that was a game that obviously we needed to win, and we fell short. And give props to them; they played a good hard game. But we're pretty frustrated. We didn't think we came out hard and played our game at all. Yeah, I mean, obviously, we're not thinking about that now, but in the moment, those are two huge wins. Obviously, it's been a long time since we've been able to beat Winnipeg, so that one felt really good. And then obviously a playoff type game, it felt like, against Red Deer with physicality and kind of the play style that we and them played in that game. Obviously, never been to the playoffs, so I couldn't say for sure, but just that kind of felt like that, and to be able to pull that one off was huge. So those were two big wins, but then you lose two, so doesn't mean as much now for sure.
Reaching 60 goals, how does it feel for your mark?
I mean, tonight it's not something I'm obviously it's cool, and whatnot. It's a cool number, but right now it's not what I'm thinking about at all. It's a really tough loss for us, and maybe after a win or something I can look at it in a different light, but right now I'm not thinking about it, so it's hard to answer that question. I think it's just kind of consistency almost. I mean, I think we've played so great in the last 10 games or whatever it is here. I mean, from that PA game, and we had a couple of bad ones in the third period, bad plays, but from that game on, it's been really good hockey from us, obviously, other than tonight and Sunday. So we got a lot to build on, and I think every team has improvements, but a big one is definitely consistency, and I think that's with everyone.
All right, so rolling into Lethbridge then. I mean, this is a big game. You're right behind Lethbridge. If you win this game outright in regulation, you're right on their heels. But it wasn't in Edmonton. They played much better than the Edmonton game, I thought.
Yeah, they got up to a good start. It was a much better start than they have against Lethbridge, because Lethbridge plays the slower defensive style game.
And it was a faster paced first period, I thought. It Yeah, and I think
twice.
Some of the Lethbridge goals were maybe some mistakes. There's one play, the one goal. There's two forwards behind the D. In front of Sim, and it's like, ooh, that can't happen, right? That's tough,
especially at this time of the year.
Yeah, got to be like it was almost like the PA game where there was just some mental lapses and cost them. Somebody just made a mistake, right? And it was just like, okay, and that cost them. It was just in the back of the net, right? There was
blown coverage here or there, whatever. That's it.
Exactly, but they like you said, they had the lead. Lethbridge was just hanging around. They just couldn't shake them, right? But I mean, that goal that Spencer scored, it was on the power play. His PP2 and Brown was behind the net, and he was waiting for everybody to regroup, and I was like, come on, let's go, like get it going here. And then he dishes it to Aremba, and he just blows up the side and throws it to the front of the net with Spencer. I'm like, oh wow, that was a great goal. I thought that was real nice.
It was nice. It was yeah. Can't really complain about that play. It was nice.
Yeah, nice to see.
Nice to see Aremba get some points. Nice to see Spencer score a couple goals, back-to-back games or whatever. But
yeah. And then the gift earlier in the game by Whitehead. He just snags it from Thompson there, and and okay, I'll just put it in the open net. You're out of the first period of the 3-1 lead, and then just couldn't hang on to that. You score that Spencer goal is late in the second period, a minute and a half to go in the second period. So you got the lead going into the third again, and you just couldn't hang on. They get it. Lethbridge didn't score till 17:38. Like they were that close, right?
2.5 minutes left.
Yeah,
it's very similar to what happened last year so many times.
Yeah, right.
Just blow the lead late, and then
lose in overtime.
Yeah. Or like last year, they would blow the lead late and not win.
They'd lose in regulation.
Not win at all.
Couldn't even
get a point at all.
Yeah, couldn't even pick a loser point up, right? 2 loser points or whatever it was last year would have maybe got them in the playoffs.
Yep, for sure.
And then overtime, it never did hit 3-on-3. It was 4-on-4 like the whole time, so there wasn't a whistle all of overtime, I think, whatsoever. Yep. And so Bedard comes in, the seas just parted for him. I was just like, oh, here it is, game over, right?
Yeah.
Hits the post, gets the rebound back, it has a second glorious chance and doesn't score, and then it goes back the other way, 2-on-1, and of course they score. It always happens, right?
That's what happens.
So that was a tough one. You see some frustration from some of the guys, and that was real tough, right? I mean,
it was a tough one, but it was nice to see a huge crowd in Lethbridge. So I think this is their highest attendance of the year, 5378. So another CB98 sellout.
Yeah, definitely. Still packing the buildings on the road. I think Saskatoon, we talked about it earlier, a couple shows ago maybe. I think the one Saskatoon game is sold out.
Oh, it's pretty close. Pretty close. If not totally. Yeah.
Like the whole thing, not just the lower bowl. I think the whole thing. So, because there's 2 coming up in Saskatoon here, but I think the atmosphere seemed pretty good in that game. You got anything else from that game?
No, not really.
All right. Well, I got it. Go ahead.
Go for it.
I got a little bit of clip from Ken Schneider off the radio, so there's a little 2-minute clip that we can hear from him, unless you have anything else.
No, that's all.
Yeah, honestly, we just got done chatting about it as coaches. Going, we were fortunate to get the point. To be honest with you, didn't feel that we really had our A game tonight. We battled. I'll give us credit for that. But overall, we can be much better than that. Yeah, I mean, it was a really good, smart play on Braxton's part, and I thought Braxton had a pretty good game. To be honest with you, tonight he was good on the forecheck, and he just made some really good reads and stripped some defensemen of the puck. And in that particular case, he just pickpocketed the goalie and caught him standing out in the middle of nowhere. So big play on his part. Well, I think we just, overall, we have to give a better effort. I think we had some passengers on the bus tonight, and so overall, we just got to pick up our game. All 20 guys. We've got to have everybody playing. We can't just have 3 or 4 guys carrying all the loads. So I think that's the key. And, tomorrow's another day. And we're going to be in a real tough game tomorrow night. We're going to have to really find that will to win.
All right. And then rolling into Medicine Hat, you think, okay, well, they've struggled a little bit with Medicine Hat. Okay, you can salvage 2 points. I mean, you get 2 points here, 3 out of 4 on the road, isn't a terrible road trip, right?
Yeah.
But
unfortunately,
yeah, there's the but.
The hopes and dreams were dashed.
yeah, like it was just not a good game. Again, like
No,
it was kind of like the Edmonton game. I mean,
except worse.
yeah, right. I mean, it was. I don't even know what to say about this game. It was just like,
CHL TV had issues, and
yeah, there was
we had
right off the bat.
two play-by-plays
At the same time.
at a time,
Never did had Dante ever,
and then we lost Dante, and
but there was
listening
no
to
option
ahead.
for the Dante, right? They finally
yeah,
cleaned it up and
disappeared.
had Gino for the home, but they never did have the away option.
It totally disappeared. It was just, oh man. So I was listening to Dante in my earbuds and listening to Gino on the TV. Oh man.
Yeah,
One time it was 10 seconds apart. Next time it was 3 seconds. And then it was 12 seconds. It's like,
yeah, I just had the TV muted and I was just listening on my phone to Dante. It was out. First it was ahead, then it was behind, then it was pretty much right on, and I was like, I haven't done anything. But then the video cut out for a while, and yeah. But I like, so what is it? It was 2-0 after the 1-0 after the first, and then
Yeah.
I missed like 50 seconds of the second period, and they scored 20 seconds in. It's already 2-0 when I sit back down. I'm just
but
like,
the first period was kind of close. Like
Yeah,
the
it
shots were
wasn't bad.
10-9,
Yeah.
1-0. We have a hope.
yeah, oh yeah, no, nothing. But then I sit down, I'm like, damn it, 2-0 already, right? Like 20 seconds in, and then the second period happened where the Pats had one shot on goal. Like
Yeah.
that,
Was not a good period.
not at all. And I mean, it was 3-0 at the midpoint, but I think of the second period of the game, and I think even at that point, I think you're thinking this game is kind of over.
It was feeling like that. Well, they had no offensive
They
chances.
had nothing exactly. It's
Nothing.
not like
It was just,
it's
it
not
was
like they were
weird.
running into a hot goalie or something and they were getting shut down. It was just like, it was just nothing whatsoever, right?
They had no jump. There was nothing. It was just, I don't know if they had issues because of the storm when they traveled from Lethbridge to Medicine Hat. I don't know if they were delayed and didn't get a proper trip. I have no idea what the deal was, but they just were lost. I don't know. This was probably one of the worst games of the year, I think.
It would be right there. Yeah, no doubt. Especially with the full lineup because, we've seen some rough ones. Like that Saskatoon game after Christmas with no Bedard, no Svozil. Like that was a rough game.
Yeah, but you expect that when you're missing your top two guys or your
exactly
top forward, top defenseman. But this was pretty much your full lineup.
Yep.
And just
nothing. I mean,
rough.
We've talked about Medicine Hat. They've come on since the Christmas break, but I mean, for them to put up 7-0, that's, oof. And I mean, yeah, like it's like almost like I don't even know what to say. Right?
Yeah,
yeah, losing Janelle early, mid first period with the fight, and then it was a staged fight because they dropped the gloves on right after a face-off, so that's considered a staged fight, so that both players automatically get ejected. So, and then it sounds like
that's what we think it is.
Yeah, that's what we think happened.
They never said. So
yeah, no official word, but that's what we think happened. And then apparently Spencer went out at some point. I didn't really notice what happened or notice that he was gone. I mean, I was kind of checked out. Let's be honest.
it was frustrating to watch. Did you really pay attention?
Yeah, I had the game on. I watched the whole game and everything, but it was just like, they just had nothing.
It's hard to focus on when the other team has the puck going against you all the time.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, so then they lost Spencer. Sounded like an ankle issue flared up, maybe his bad ankle. So we'll see. Keep an eye out for that. See what happens this coming week.
Yeah, hopefully it's not too serious because they need him.
Yeah, definitely.
They need him in the top 6. He was just getting going. He had 2 goals in 2 games. And
yeah, definitely. Like John says, just lengthens the lineup when you have all those guys back. Like the lineup isn't bad, right? Like we struggled all first half of the season with the injuries. This guy's gone or that guy's gone. And it was just they didn't have their full lineup, and you see the 6-game winning streak when they do have everybody in the lineup. The team does look good.
Yeah,
but unfortunately,
they're all on the same page.
Yeah, but unfortunately, this 6-game winning streak has been a total long afterthought with this 4-game losing streak now.
But it's nice to get those 6-game winning streak because it gave them a little bit of a cushion.
It did.
As long as they don't get too relaxed with that cushion.
Well, yeah, you can't lose.
You need to win. Need to win a few more.
Yeah, right. You can't just keep losing, right? So
Can't hope for everybody else to lose when you need them to lose. So
yeah, and luckily some teams have lost here lately. So if you look at the standings, actually, well, let's hear from Ken before we go to the standings. I've got a couple minutes here of him commenting on the Medicine Hat game again.
Well, I thought we actually started pretty well in the first period. The first probably 7-8 minutes, we played pretty well. Started to feel like we were getting our legs, and then got the goal called back, which was in our favor. So, things were sort of heading in the right direction. But the speed of the game, Medicine Hat really just their transition from defense to offense was great. They shut Connor down pretty hard tonight. He couldn't seem to get loose, and I thought Riley was trying to get us going, and unfortunately, that was the call of the stage fight, and I don't think anybody can argue with that. I mean, those are the rules. And it was unfortunate to lose him so early in the game because we really could have used him tonight.
And Kenny, there was at one point, I think it took you 15 minutes and 31 seconds to get your first shot in the second period of play, and then I think it was only one shot through the first 12 minutes of the third period. So essentially 2 shots within a 35-minute range. I don't really know how to ask this question, but is there anything you think that, or any reason do you think why that was? Maybe explain that a little bit.
Well, it's pretty easy. I think the obvious answer, to be honest with you, Dante, is we were playing on our own end the entire time. So
yeah.
we weren't there at the other end of the rink very often. But when we did have opportunities to shoot, we for whatever reason, we've kind of gotten away from getting the puck to the net. And so we're giving up shooting chances and trying to pass the puck and make the perfect play. And it just doesn't work at this level. Oh, absolutely. To be honest, I felt badly for Drew tonight. We had to play the veteran goalie to the bitter end tonight, and he wasn't the reason we lost at all. He gave us his best shot, and it's quite unfortunate because we didn't really provide him any kind of offense or defense for that matter.
All right, so yeah, speaking of the standings there, Lethbridge 72 points, Pat 66. Now, if they could have got the 2 points in Lethbridge, that would have been 67. To 70. Like, that would have been real close. Fifth was still in their grasp, right? I mean, 6 points with 6 games to go might be a little bit of a stretch now, unfortunately.
Yeah, never know.
You never know. You do, but it is going to be. It is a little tougher. Medicine Hat 3 points behind the Pats, and then Swift Current is another 3 points behind Medicine Hat. Now Swift Current, Calgary, and Brandon are all at 60, 8, 9, 10. So the Pats do have that 6 point cushion over 8th. So it's looking all right, but you just can't continue this slide. That's the thing.
They need to bounce back.
It just seems so bad with this 4-game losing streak and a couple of the games what they looked like, right? It'd be different if they'd won a couple, lost one, won a couple more, lost one, right? The 6-game winning streak, it's the highest of the high, and then now it's just this lowest of the lowest. It's just such a difference, right? Rather than kind of maintaining a little bit of a balance there.
And how this last game went?
Yeah.
They can't have that happen anymore, or they could be in trouble. I hate to say it, but
yeah,
they play like that. They only have 6 games left. They play like that in any of those games, they could spell the end. Like, I don't want to say that, but they gotta pull up their proverbial socks and get to work.
Yeah, you got Brandon coming in Wednesday. I mean, they did lay a licking on Edmonton, but they did lose to Winnipeg on Sunday here. So, but I mean, they just lost 2 to Regina as well, so they're going to be not out for blood, but I mean, they're right there. They're tied for 8th.
They're battling for their playoff lives. So
exactly.
we'll see which team shows up for the Pats, which team shows up for them.
Right? Like, you lose that game, and then that puts Brandon at 62, Madison at 63, Regina at 66. It's real tight, you know?
It'll get too tight.
Yeah. Too tight for comfort, right? So, I mean, because you look at after Brandon, the Pats have home and home with Moose Jaw. So that's going to be a tough one, right?
The start of a 3-3.
Yeah. And
Because they play Sunday against Saskatoon, too.
Sunday in Saskatoon. So
in Saskatoon. So, oof.
Right? You know, Saskatoon's, you know, that's a tough go. I mean, somehow they lost to Moose Jaw tonight 8-1. I don't know if they forgot to show up there.
Prince Albert.
Sorry. Yeah.
They lost to PA.
PA, sorry. Yeah, so you're thinking like, did they get trapped in that game? You know, gave PA some hope there. But yeah, you sent me that score and I was like, whoa, geez, wow. But yeah, so you look at that. Brandon at home on Wednesday, Friday at home against Moose Jaw, then in Moose Jaw Saturday, in Saskatoon Sunday. So that's a tough go.
Yeah, they need to get some points out of it.
Yeah, like you need the Brandon game because of where Brandon is, and then you need to split Moose Jaw at least, right?
Yeah, they need to go 500 for sure.
Moose Jaw's been kind of up and down, obviously, since they've lost those guys, and then at Saskatoon, like, you know, Saskatoon was just here. That wasn't the greatest game, so it's gonna be tough. I mean, they did play well against Saskatoon in mid-January there. Like they had a really good game against Saskatoon, and then looking ahead to the next week, it's just Friday in Saskatoon and Saturday at home versus PA for the final game. So that's it. That's
six games. Oof.
So 4 this week, 2 next week. So it's a busy week this week, but it's I mean, they gotta pick up their socks, right? You can't keep this slide going. So or else they could be on the outside looking in if they really crap the bed, right? Because there's teams behind just chomping at the bit.
Yeah, they're battling for their playoff lives. So if the Pats get too slack, that could be trouble.
Yeah, definitely.
I hope they don't. I hope they can get it together and at least get a couple wins out of the next 4, which would be beautiful. Or more. 3, 4 would be great. 2 would be awesome. 3 would be awesome. 4 would be amazing. But they need a couple for sure.
Yeah, because you look at the past 10 and these teams around them, like 6 wins for the Pats, like that's the most out of the past 10 of the teams around them. Moose Jaw's got 5, Lethbridge's got 5, Medicine Hat's got 5, Swift's got 3, Calgary's got 3, and Brandon's got 4. So they're still doing all right compared to the other teams, but it's blinking. You might be on the outside looking in.
All it takes is for one of those teams to take a hot streak, and that could be the end. Like
exactly. You know,
I don't want to be the negative Nelly or whatever, but they got to win a couple games.
No, you're just pointing out the kind of the obvious, right? So it's not like the West where it's pretty cut and dry who's in and out of the playoffs, and there's even PA would be in the playoffs, battling for a playoff spot in the West at 55 points. So that's it. The East is much tougher. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, busy week next week. Rough one this one, but it is what it is. What else you got?
The Wednesday, they're doing Indigenous...
Yeah, Orange Jersey Project,
Indigenous Peoples Night at the Pats game. So they're going to be wearing the orange jerseys.
For the game. I thought it was
for
just
the
the warm-ups, but...
Yeah, and they're auctioning them off, and if you have money to spend, check out the auction. Bedard's is already at $2,000+, so check it out.
Yeah, that's kind of wild. Like, it just opened today, and I seen it. I'm like, okay, I'll check it out. And all of a sudden, it had like 12 bids already. And it was just like, okay, 12 bids. There was like 3 or 4 bids on the rest of the jerseys total. But of course, Bedard, it's 2,025 right now, 13 bids. Kind of wild. But yeah, some more jerseys. I mean, there's been a lot of jerseys in this last little bit here. It's crazy.
A lot, yeah.
Yeah, right. Next year, I think they need to space them out a little more. Like between the SpongeBob the Nickelodeon and the cancer awareness. It was 2 weeks or a week. It was back-to-back weekends.
And then the design your jersey was not too long after that.
Yeah, right. And now this is the 4th jersey in like 6 weeks, 7 weeks, whatever it is, right?
It's a lot of money for people to spend.
Yeah.
Especially when season ticket renewals came out.
Yeah.
And they haven't put any prices out for the playoffs to see for playoff pricing and stuff. So
yeah, and then it sounds like the season ticket holders prices have gone up a bit. Unfortunately.
Yes, they have.
I guess,
but we're not going to talk about that today.
No, okay, we'll deal with that later. But yeah, so yeah, some more jerseys. I mean, starting off at $200, so go from there. Oh yeah, Cruz Chase. I mean, he got called up, and we thought, okay, maybe his season's done. He's going to get some practice time. I assume his season's done. I forgot to look into that. I should have looked into that.
Airdrie didn't do very well.
Yeah, his team was pretty rough. We discussed that when he signed. His team was most likely not going to make the playoffs, depending how their playoff structure works. If they did, they were probably out pretty quick. So here we thought, he's just going to, finish out the season with the Pats, get some practice time, get some experience. And while Pine went down with illness, Dante mentioned in the Lethbridge game or pre-game, so he backed up both these games. He didn't see any action. Maybe he could have got into that Medicine Hat game late for a little bit of action, but
just to get his name in there.
Yeah, but he did not. So kind of keep an eye on that. See what happens with Pine this coming week. But yeah, third goalie.
Because if Pine is out for any length, Chase is going to get a game because they play 3-3. So
yeah, I never thought of that. That's true. I don't think you can ride Sim 3-3. That's a tough go.
4-5, 3-3, 4-5.
Yeah.
That would be beyond. I think that'd be beyond any expectations, especially with Sunday being a 4:00 game.
Yeah, that early game Sunday, right? 3 in less than 48 hours. That's a tough go for everybody, right? But like we said, Chase is the third goalie. Like they don't have anybody else. Signed. Well, is Welke's still on the list, but he's not coming.
He's not on the list anymore.
Yeah, okay.
They just haven't updated that.
Yeah, I didn't think
because
so.
he's a 20, so
I know.
They don't have,
so
they don't
he
have room
can't.
for it.
Yeah, he can't even be here. So yeah, maybe he gets some action. You never know. Maybe if they said illness, so he should be back. It shouldn't be an issue.
And another props to CB98, a sellout in Medicine Hat, which is their highest attendance of the year, 6,405.
What
beating the previous tie was 6178. The previous game against
that was
the
a
Pats.
sellout. Yeah, I was gonna say both of them were sellouts, obviously. So
the Bedard bump, so to speak, is in full effect.
And it's kind of tapered off in Regina, hasn't it?
But the people have seen him here, and the Pats fans that I've known forever are very finicky. Even when the team's winning, they tend not to show up. They have other things to do. So, I've seen Bedard a couple times. Big deal.
No, for sure.
Don't need to go.
I mean, there's the big rush, obviously, after World Juniors, where it was sold out, I don't know, 4 or 5 games in a row, and then it's kind of tapered off a bit. But, I mean, the 3-3 last weekend, that doesn't help. If it was only one game, I bet you it would have been sold out, right?
Oh, they hit 6,000 on the Sunday game there.
No,
so.
that is true.
Yeah.
That Sunday afternoon, get some kids in, right?
Yeah.
But, I mean, Friday was, like we said, it was under 5, and then Saturday was 55, right? So not
something
crowds.
like that. Yeah,
not bad crowds at all, but you can tell it's kind of tapered off a little bit. But the only thing else I got, they released another set of cards. That was kind of interesting. Just a 5-player set. I thought they were pretty nice looking, but
yeah, they are
kind of interesting.
And they sold them in game only, and then haven't talked about them ever since.
Yeah, that was it. I think they probably sold out. There wasn't very many, only a couple hundred, I think. So.
Yeah, the box that the lady had wasn't very many.
Yeah, because they had boxes of the other ones, but obviously they're thicker, 25 cards or whatever the first set was. This was only 5, but they're nice. If you got a set that seems to be a hot.
Haven't seen them online anywhere, so nobody's selling them.
One set online.
Oh, you have?
No, I have not.
Oh, you haven't?
No,
nope.
eBay, Marketplace. Not that I've searched it, but I haven't noticed it.
I've been
So,
looking for this year's cards just to see what people are trying to sell them for, and
Yeah.
the people I think have smartened up. They're not trying to sell them for tons, or they're not selling them much at all anymore.
I've just followed one on eBay that was auction because there's lots of buy it nows like $60, $70, $80 that are still there, but the one was like it went for like $35, $40, something like that, like not much. Right.
Yeah.
So obviously people that don't live here missed out on a set. Okay, they'll pay $40 to get a set on eBay or whatever, right? But nobody's buying them for the $70 that people are asking buy it now
Yeah.
for. But yeah, like if an auction goes for $30, that's all it's worth, right?
Yeah,
I'm
for
not
sure.
surprised because last year's didn't have any value. It's only the rookie card, right? And
Yeah.
then we'll see what happens once he joins the NHL, and then everybody's going to be after that NHL stuff. So
But his rookie card's still gonna have value because only did like 3,500 of it.
yeah,
So
it'll still have value, and like we've seen graded ones, unsigned, go for $1,500. Like they're still
yeah,
going
or even more.
on eBay. Yeah, graded 10s for $1,500. Like, whew, that's a lot of money. Like, I've got my 3. I'm holding on to them. That's all. I only bought 3 sets. They're not going anywhere.
Yeah, I'm probably holding on to mine too.
Yeah. I mean, it's tempting, right? But no.
It is. It is.
Because who couldn't just use $1,000, right?
Exactly.
But no, I didn't buy them to sell them. I bought them to
Yeah,
keep.
me neither.
So, you got anything else this week? I mean, it was just a rough week. Not much to say. I mean, this one's gonna be a little shorter. We tried to get a little shorter, but it's a lot easier to talk when they're winning a lot, looking good.
Yeah. Not really much else to say other than good luck to Greg Mayer with the Rough Riders. He's no longer with the Pats.
He's done now. Yeah.
And good luck to the new interim therapist, Brennan McConaughey, I think is his last name. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but
That's right.
good luck to him.
Yeah, we didn't mention him coming in, I don't think. We might have forgotten that last time, but
it's official now. Greg was around for the weekend, but the last weekend,
yeah.
he was around.
Yeah, probably
he left
helping out
and
the transition, right?
did his own thing.
Yeah.
I can't remember what his name is. It's McConaughey, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I butchered it, I apologize.
They kind of did a little tribute to Greg, and you could see him. He was behind the bench in the tunnel, and he was like, "Hey, yeah, I'm still here. Hi, thanks," kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like we said, long-term guy. He's been here forever. He's been in the WHL for so long, and good for him though. Step up to the
for sure.
CFL. And this guy came from Edmonton, so he's kind of not that he's stepping down, but I think he's a younger guy, right? So.
I think he was just an interim in Edmonton as well. So
right, just
with the
trying to
Elks
expand
and
his knowledge and experience. So he'll come in for the rest of the season and maybe get a foot in the door for next year, right? Obviously, they'll have a little not better, but a longer search for somebody for full time next year, right? This kind of maybe came up on them, obviously.
And they haven't updated the website. Did they still have Greg on there?
So
no, I feel really bad. I don't know what this guy's last name is now for sure. Oh well, if I butchered it, I apologize.
Yeah, we'll make note of it for next week. We'll give him a proper shout out, unless you find it right away. But
I'm looking. I can't find it. Oh well. But good luck to Greg. Good luck to the new therapist, Brennan. I know that for sure is his first name.
okay, I'm drawing a blank on the whole thing, so you remember more than me. I don't know, but I think with that we should wrap it up.
Yeah, don't want to embarrass myself anymore.
Yeah, it's all good. So.
Oh, speaking of which, didn't the most popular player vote end
tonight?
Yes.
Sunday
So
night.
hopefully you got your votes in. I wonder if it'll be a surprise for the most popular player.
Oh, there was a surprise, a little bit of surprise last year, wasn't there?
Yeah.
They didn't have the voting public like they did last year, did they?
They had the voting public for all of a day last year.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they stopped having it public.
Yeah.
But according to the website, as of right now, there's 15,769 votes.
Okay, it was only like 6,000 yesterday, but it wasn't widely advertised.
And they ended it on Sunday.
Yeah.
That's interesting, but whatever.
Yeah, so lots of votes. I mean, it'd be a little bit of a surprise if it wasn't Connor. this year, but it wasn't him last year. So, never know. Never know.
That's very true.
I mean, everybody online was like, "Oh, it's kind of obvious," but not last year. But yeah, anything else then?
No, I think that's it now.
That's all right. At least we got it in. We didn't forget, right?
Yeah, well, we probably still forgot some stuff.
Yeah, probably. Anyways, all right. Well, Wednesday and what was it? Wednesday and Friday, right? Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday and Friday. So a couple games in town. So we'll see you at the rink.
Have a good one.